We give our guys credit. They fought real hard to get this win. Obviously, the injury by Malik made it a little tough. But we had guys step up no matter who we threw into the game. It's going to be hard to beat that team. That team's really good. And to lose the free throw battle 33-12, I don't understand it. They get calls that are touch fouls, and I asked the officials about it, and the officials say, yeah, they're touch fouls, and maybe I wouldn't have called that, but then we can't get the same call. And, as a coach, when your team is fighting, you just all you want is consistency, and 33-12 in a tight ball game. That's not consistency, so it makes it tough. Having said that, we gave ourselves a chance to win. We turned the ball over a little too many times in the second half. They're one of the best teams in the West, and if you're going to get beat at the free throw line 33-12, you got to be perfect in a lot of other areas. And so in the second half, we had 8 turnovers for 8 points, obviously, which is not good for a half. And then, we didn't get out and run as much as we did in the first half. I thought we put a lot of pressure on them in transition, and we didn't push the ball as well in the second half. But I tell you, you got to give it to them. We took some tough shots in the fourth quarter, especially down the stretch. And Dallas is such a veteran team. They're a veteran team. Their guys are very, very, very smart. They got a good feel for the game. They just kept attacking what they felt was a mismatch, or they just kept putting Domas in a ball screen. And, we're trying not to let Kyrie beat us. We're trying not to let Luka beat us. And at the end of the day, we're saying, hey, somebody else is going to have to beat us down the stretch. But they didn't panic. They just kept doing what they were doing. And as soon as we committed 2 to the ball, they just drove us and stretched the double team, and then got off the ball to the open man. And then when we rotated to open man, they just swung the ball to the next man. And they got wide open shots. And the way they played down the stretch, I applaud them because it was just a veteran team executing and taking what the defense gave them, and them just being patient, coming up, attacking the mismatch or attacking Domas, and we had to blitz so that those two guys wouldn't beat us. So their execution was at a high level down the stretch, and Exum finally hit a big 3. So I applaud our guys for the effort that they gave, and this one's tough to let slip away.
Mike, after Tuesday's game, you talked about the offense over the defense. What is the balance of the broad view of giving up 34 in the fourth quarter versus the stringing together 3 or 4 straight shots or stops with, I think, Exum missed shots, and then not being able to offensively execute to take advantage of those stops?
No, well, at the end of the day, we weren't going to allow Kyrie or Luka to beat us. I mean, they're 2 Hall of Fame players, and they showed up tonight. One's 11 for 16, the other's 6 for 14. So their 2 superstars went 17 for 30. So they were over 50%. Plus, they had 20 free throws between the 2 of them. So at the end of the day, you just don't want those 2 guys to beat you. But those 2 guys, man, they just got a great feel. They allow the double team to happen, or they allow the switch to happen, and they attack right away. And so now you got to come help. But they get off the ball so well. It's as soon as that double team comes, boom, they're getting off the ball. That guy either snap drives it, shoots it, or he swings it to the next open guy. And so I would give their offense more credit in that fourth quarter than saying our defense was bad, because our guys, we had to do what we had to do. You got 2 Hall of Famers shooting over 50% from the field, and you got to get the ball out their hands. And at the end of the day, you hope that somebody misses, and they move the ball like 2, 3, 4 passes after they got it out, after we got out their hands. And sometimes we just stopped rotating because they moved it so well. So I would give their offense a lot of credit in that fourth quarter, more so than the way we played defensively, because our guys did what we said, but it's hard to keep chasing that ball when they're moving it and spacing the floor as well as they do. And then for us, one of the things we talked about, Luka played a lot of minutes. We talked about, hey, just like they were doing to us, call him up into a ball screen or go at him. And we didn't have the patience to quite do that every time.
Mike, what did you see with Malik and the injury? What do you know about that, and what can you say about what it's going to take for this team to kind of withstand the wave of injuries you guys are dealing with right now?
I didn't see the injury, so I can't comment on the injury. I mean, Shannon can. She can give you an update, but I have no clue. I just know that, hey, we just got to have the next man step up. Nobody's going to fill Malik's shoes, and so we just have to continue to try to do it by committee.
Yeah, Coach, can you kind of talk through the idea of putting Domas on not the big and assuming to not put him in as many pick-and-roll situations as possible, like you kind of talked about, but how do you think that went?
I thought it was good. I thought, a lot of teams blitz Luka, they blitz Kyrie, and they're bigs. They're athletic. I mean, you saw it tonight. They finished at the rim. Not only that, if they felt too many bodies, they got off it right away. And so for us, we're like, okay, well, we're going to make you guys play a little different. If we're going to blitz, you're going to have to find Exum, and now Exum's going to have to play make, and whether it's at the rim or finding bodies, and now you have another non-shooter in Lively or Gafford out on the perimeter, or it takes a shooter out from the perimeter. And so our guys, I hope I'm explaining it right to you to where you get it, but our guys did a good job trying to execute the game plan. I mean, they had a big fourth quarter because they offensively, they were extremely patient, and they moved the ball, and they spaced the floor very, very well, and we had to go after their two superstars. So, and they hit shots. It's as simple as that. They hit shots, and so our guys did what we asked them to do. You hope that they wouldn't score 34, but at the end of the day, the way they played, especially in that fourth quarter, it's just the right way to play the game, especially when you're trying to take two guys out.
Mike, this was labeled like a mini playoff series. Did you see similarities, both positive and negative, to the actual playoffs last year, and maybe growth or falling into the same pitfalls?
No, I mean, whether we win or lose, I think we can always grow, and like I said, we did a lot of real